Thank you, Senator Brasso, and thank you all for being here today. This has been so helpful, and obviously we have a lot of challenges in front of us that are very, very critical. Mr. Tudor, I'm going to direct my question to you. The strains on the nation's electric grid to an electric sector continues to be played by the things you've talked about, the supply chain issues, the labor shortages, the natural disasters, the reliance on foreign countries for equipment, and so on. We're also seeing that the challenges facing our grid infrastructure are only heightened by the aggressive green agenda being pursued by the Biden administration. So from your perspective, can you just talk about the consequences that the American people see if these issues are left unaddressed?
I apologize, you're asking me. I couldn't.
Yes.
Okay. Very good question. Difficult to answer. I have to revert back to probably the largest issues. Supply chain challenges are worse than they've ever been. Minerals to actually create renewable projects are 70–80% managed and controlled by China. You have to construct things. So when we talk about implementation, the first thing we have to do is we have to invent, develop, and then ultimately deploy whatever resource we're talking about, whether it's wind, solar, batteries. And I agree with Dr. Lott. It's just not prime time yet. We're not ready. And we've had some unique things happen that have caused this to slow down. A big one being COVID, which created then supply chain challenges. A strong economy led to that, and this growth spurt. And so I think that we need to answer Senator King's question. I think we need to at least 2040 to maintain fossil fuel plants and make a smooth transition to a cleaner United States. That doesn't fix the world. It will just fix the United States because China is going to continue to build coal plants. That answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you.
And also to you that, with Winter Storm Elliott, the strike that we had in the Southeast, there were certainly reliability problems and concerns, including the rolling blackouts, and it seemed that the region recovered pretty quickly. But the customers did not see the extreme economic impact like they did in Texas or that they might see in a market like New England that lacks firm gas. So do you attribute this in part maybe in the market structure in the Southeast or specifically the vertically integrated bilateral market?
Storms are unpredictable, and we have actually looked back at our region and looked at weather trends. And when was the coldest day in Missouri, Oklahoma, and Iowa? It was actually in 1989, not in December of 2022. What happened in the Southeast is somewhat unique, because, as well as Texas, because they're not used to these storms dipping down as deep and as cold. So what we experienced in Elliott was effectively 20 and 30 degrees below zero with wind chills and wind up to 50 miles an hour. Very unique storm. It's happened before, but the Southeast effectively, I think, got caught by the same thing all of us got caught by, and that is bad weather forecasting. I think most utilities in the United States during Storm Elliott missed their load forecast. And when everybody misses their load forecast, Jim knows what that means. You're short everywhere of generation. And if you don't have that generation on and operating before the storm, it's very difficult to get that generation to come on during a storm. So from a market construct standpoint, I continue to advocate that we allow the RTOs to actually bring on baseload generation in front of a storm and curtail other forms of energy for that window of time where they need to get the baseload generation up and running in advance of a storm.
Thank you. And I have another question, but I'll submit it. Thank you.